Hi, everyone.
Hey there.
Hey
How's
there.
it going?
We're just going to do a couple of minutes of silly talk until everyone joins us. So hopefully everyone is having a great time. And maybe you're working, maybe you're not.
Maybe you're in your PJs. We are not. These may look like PJs, but these are formal business clothes that we're wearing. Only the finest here at Raymond Vineyards. When you come to blend with us, you get that.
You would think that, let's just say it's a good thing we're winemakers and not fashionistas, because we would probably not do well. Once again, welcome to our weekly Facebook Live. We're so glad that you could join us. I'm Stephanie Putnam, Director of Winemaking at Raymond. And here we have the talented Thane Knutson wearing the cute little French hat. I have too much hair for a hat. I will not be wearing a hat.
She has plenty on top. This looks better.
He can do it. I'm not going to. And then we decided, in honor of the wine that we're actually going to be talking about, that we would wear these lovely outfits. And if you've been to Raymond, and shame on you if you haven't been, but if you've been to Raymond, then you would recognize these outfits, right? Thane, what are these outfits for?
Protective gear.
Why would we need protective gear?
It's all about keeping our guests looking their finest. And if you come to Raymond and blend with us,
because you could be wearing this or this.
Or only our finest clothes. But if you come and blend, we don't want you to get wine on your dress or your shirt. So we have these fantastic get-ups to keep you looking good and keep everything totally copacetic.
And I'm not gonna lie, they are they run big, clearly, because
but it looks good.
Here's my arm.
It looks good. You
gotta
get the whole.
I should probably get that whole thing going.
I get the zip up because that's about all I can handle.
And if you are familiar with us, you might notice that perhaps I've grown again, because I never think of myself as short, but apparently I'm short. I don't understand why. It makes no sense to me. But whenever I see a picture of myself with Thane, then I realize, wow, I'm really short. So let me go back.
And now I'm the one standing up straight.
I'm going to be vain enough to stand on a box, so I look the same height. Okay.
It's from all the laying down that we're doing now. It's like stretching you out.
It is. I had hoped. Some of you know I think I wanted to be an FBI agent, but I was too short. Apparently I can run faster if I'm this height rather than this height. Anyway, perhaps we should talk about why we're all here today.
Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Thane and I are so excited to welcome you once again to a little peek inside our world. Do you wear this every day, Thane?
Every day I show up. The shiniest of outfits.
I just want you to know your glasses match your outfit. That's kind
of... Oh, wow, nice.
That's kind of good.
That's part of it.
My glasses?
Very planned.
Do not. I'm not wearing them. So we are here to talk about our Sommelier selection. And Thane, what is that one?
Som Select. So some of you are probably familiar with our family classic Cabernet. Which is a North Coast Cab that we blend here at Raymond, and you'll see out.
Can we backtrack for a second?
Yeah.
What is a North Coast Cab?
North Coast.
Yeah.
So we're in Napa proper, but for a North Coast Cab that includes all of the counties north of San Francisco, basically. So you have Sonoma, Napa, technically Solano is in there as well, and Mendocino and Lake.
Yeah.
So our North Coast cabs here are typically blended up with Napa, Lake, and Sonoma. Occasionally Mendocino as well. But you'll see the Family Classic that we blend ourselves.
So the Family Classic is the retail North Coast Cab that our team blends together, not in these outfits.
Not without silly hat.
Without silly hat.
Silly hat free wine. That's the Family Classic. But then what we're talking about today is an awesomely fun event that we blend up with sommeliers brought in from throughout the country. and we'll name some of the names and where they came from this vintage in just a minute. But the whole concept is that they get to come out and they are the ones who actually put together trial blends as a group. They vote on what their favorite blend is, and that is the wine that goes to bottle and makes it out to restaurants near you. So you can only find this wine in restaurants, bars, places where you can actually have it by the glass. But
for today, and in
Yes.
honor of the sommelier, so Thane is absolutely 100% correct. This is exclusively a restaurant-only wine, and one of the cool things that he just did is it's a screw cap. I mean, does that not scream to go to you? I don't know what does. I mean, that's super easy, no cork. You know, he twisted off the capsule. Now he's going to put it back on. If for some reason you can't actually finish, you know, the bottle between the 2 or 3 of you, it keeps easily overnight.
Yep.
But this is a wine that has only been available through restaurants. However, we have decided to go ahead and release it out to you, to the public. So
Yep.
this is a once-in-a-lifetime shot to get the wine blended by sommeliers shipped directly to you. And I will say that part of the reason we're doing this is a portion of the proceeds are going to be donated to the United Sommelier Foundation that will help support a lot of the restaurant workers
and wine professionals
and
out
wine
there.
professionals. Yeah, I mean they're all being devastated right now, and so one of the reasons why we're releasing this is that the portions of the small portion of the proceeds will actually be donated to the United Sommelier Foundation. That's hard for me to say.
Yes.
But so I will thanks as mentioned that this is blended by sommeliers and winemakers. Let's be honest, we're all control freaks. Some people may tell you that you're not, but let's be honest, we're control freaks. So for us to sit here and say you are going to blend the wine, that's hard for us to do.
That is letting go. That's a long leash.
I mean, that's like, yeah, it's very difficult for us to do that, or at least it is for me to do that. But one of the ways that we're able to control the blend, because it is blended by different sommeliers, but we want it to be relatively consistent year in and year out, because people are going to expect, hey, if I buy this bottle this year versus last year, is it going to be the same? It's the same vineyard sourcing every year.
Yep. So what we actually offer them are wines made from the same locations every year, so that generally the concept when we invite somms out is that we get a good mix of different backgrounds. So people that come from steakhouses to really
Bistros.
fresh bistros, and they all have different palates, different types of wine that they think would pair well with the food that they
I'm just
provide.
loving this whole.
Any chance she gets to look
I'm an only
tower
child.
over.
I'm easily entertained. Sorry, go ahead.
So we invite them with different backgrounds, and they're looking for different things. And what that means for this wine is oftentimes it comes out to very similar proportions, vintage to vintage, because the steakhouses are looking for something that has a huge amount of structure, and then the bistros and places doing more fresh food are looking for more a little fruit pop and floral bouquet. And when they come together, the group think is what you see before you, is something that has the best of both worlds, a lot of balance, especially when you're coming from the same sources throughout the North Coast.
And you know the real truth to knowing that this is not blended by us. This particular vintage has 9% Cab Franc, and for some of you who may know me, you may know that Cab Franc isn't always been my favorite varietal. I think there are some fantastic Cab Francs out there, just maybe not quite as much as Cabernet. So if you see 9% Cab Franc, that means that I had
Stephanie
nothing.
didn't blend that one.
I love what it can do in a blend, and we do the JCB Cab Franc, but it's just never been my super favorite, and that's not really
And to be fair, I warn all the somms, if you want to win over the crowd, you got to know your audience, and Stephanie doesn't like Cab Franc. And a few brave somms just can't help themselves but to put Cab Franc in, and when we tasted blind, I think we still chose this one.
Yeah, that was a shocker. I think that was even a shocker to me. And so actually that's a great thing, is that it's a very humbling experience because everyone, they come together. It's typically anywhere from 8 to 12 Soms. They pair up, they create their blends, then they give us the information. They go off for lunch. We create them, set up a blind tasting, and everyone always thinks that I can pick my wine. Yeah, not so easy.
Not really.
Because, I have given up trying to do that because I guarantee you, if I say that this is my wine, it's not. I'm not very good at picking out my own wine, and it's very humbling for everyone included, because like, oh wow, I thought I ranked my wine first and I ranked my wine last. That happens way more often than you think. You know what the other thing that happens quite a bit when we're doing these blending sessions? The addition of 100.
Oh man, math is hard these days.
Math is very hard.
We give everyone a nice 100 ml scale, a cylinder, and half the time our blends are giving 110%.
Yeah, 98%, 110%. I mean, it's like, people, you have a phone, use it. You should be able to do this, but inevitably there will always be one person in the group that we have to do some math proportions in order to create an actual 100%
between
wine.
Math, between trying to choose your own blend, it's a practice in humility. It's a little like golf. It's very humiliating if you come in
golf.
guns blazing.
I don't play golf, so I wouldn't know. I go diving. But one of the things that I love about doing this is that I think as winemakers, sometimes we can be a little bit insular in our focus. We have a little bit of that. You can always have a house palate. And by bringing in a group from other places, and on this particular vintage, it was all the way from Toronto to Los Gatos, California. So across the U.S., Washington, D.C., Texas, New York, and then international in Canada, everyone has a different perspective. Right?
It's fresh, and it's always fun to host a new group every year and meet those Soms, and it's always fun to hear a little bit about where they came from, what they do in their restaurants, how they prepare their food, how they pair their wines, and what they're looking for is always eye-opening and very fun to get their take on a blend and what would really sell well for them.
I mean, because you have to think about it. These are sommeliers. These are people who are working in restaurants, so they're going to know what works well with food. And so when they're creating this blend in their mind, they're thinking, okay, what's going to work well with my restaurant? So, buying this wine is a home run because this is going to go with almost everything. So I think this is a great wine, and Thane, you were always so much better at coming up with great words and descriptors.
Well, maybe a little bit about the package. So what, like we say, it's not normally offered out on
it's
on
never
our website
offered out in
or,
retail. It's
right.
only restaurants. Yeah,
so only restaurants. So you may not get to actually see the package. But what we like to do is promote the sommeliers that actually blended this vintage. So you can get the bottle, and on the back we have a really cool accordion label. So you actually open it up and you can flip through and see all the different names.
Oh look, it's show and tell.
The show and tell. Yeah. You can see that, Alec, Barry, Brian, Catherine, you can see the names of the people and Soms and a little brief bio of where they came from, how they ended up getting into wine, and kind of get a little inside information about who put this wine together, which is a really cool, fun way to tell the story. And you can actually take the whole thing off and keep it as little information afterwards after you're done with the bottle.
I'm going to have to remind myself, but I don't think our names are on that, are they? No.
Oh, never.
I don't think so. I think it's just the names of the Soms who participated, and let's be honest, who wouldn't want to have their name on a back label, right? But that is a wonderful, wonderful feature. So as you can just peel it off as Thane showed you. And every vintage, it's a different group of Soms. So that's kind of a fun aspect of it. But if you're going to taste this wine, smell this.
We don't actually list who the winner was.
That's
you'll never know. It's Vegas here. What happens here?
Yeah, we never list the winners. I always tell everyone that, if you want to win, you can probably slip me $100 on the side, and maybe I can help you win. But we never list that because the spirit of this wine is that it's for everyone.
It's a collaborative effort.
Right. The group knows who the winner is, but no one else does, and we never talk about it because it's a collaborative wine, collaborative blend.
Until this year, we had kind of like a survival showdown where all past winners came back for a revisit their old stomping grounds, and they put together the 2018, which it's not released quite yet, but they came back and they blended, and it was a good reunion, and everyone had bragging rights then.
Everyone had bragging rights, but not everyone had bragging rights when they left.
Yeah.
Right? There was only one winner, but. And I think that actually the 2017 is the 9th vintage that we've been doing this. So hopefully maybe some of you are familiar if you've gone out to some of your great restaurants across the U.S. Hopefully you're familiar with this wine already because we have been doing it for 9+ years. And the vintage that we just blended was our 10th anniversary, which is why we brought in Somms.
From the past 9 years.
From the past 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. On the spot thing.
Spot.
What are the aromatics?
So we mentioned that this is primarily Napa, Sonoma, and Lake. So in the opposite order, it's Lake, Napa, and Sonoma. And so these all give you different distinct styles, and I think that this vintage is, just starting to open up. And to me, it has a surprising amount of ripeness, like that Lake County fruit pop is really coming out, giving you more of that riper cherry, almost cassis,
like Bing cherry. Yeah.
But along with a lot of spice, it's like mulled spices, wine mulling spices. It has a lot of that cardamom and
even like an orange pekoe tea kind of characteristics that's coming out of it. I mean, I think this is a very soft, easy drinking wine. Clearly it's meant to go with food. This is a drink me now kind of wine. Very inexpensive. I think our suggested retail is $20, but I'm a winemaker. He's a winemaker. We're never 100% right on the pricing.
Not our department.
It's not our department. And then I usually get depressed because I know how much love and effort and passion and energy
we put into every bottle.
We put into every bottle. So it's way over delivers on
It's
quality.
a fantastic value.
Yeah, it really is. And maybe we'll quickly check in to see if there's any questions.
Dylan, hit it.
Apparently everyone is actually working right now instead of watching Facebook Live. Bravo, that's good. Oh.
We have a nice little group. We have about 30 of them.
Oh, that's
30
great.
friends watching it now.
Well,
haven't seen any questions yet.
That's fantastic. Well, hopefully you'll buy the wine and then maybe you can have some questions.
Through our website, though.
Yes. I have a little reminder note. Post it. You want to
There we go. So if you go to our website, you can actually buy this wine today with a special code, which I will tell you now, and I'll show it here.
That's my horrible writing.
It's VT6.
Victory
Ship.
Tango 6.
Victory Tango 6. Wow, look at her. Victory Tango 6.
So what happens
Ship.
when I'm tall? If I'm short, I don't know what it would be.
She's got all her codes.
My brain cells, I've like magnified.
It's all the oxygen up here.
Yeah, it is.
There's a question from Leanne Pendergast. She wants to know if they can buy it at the winery.
Once we open.
Yes, so you can buy it from the winery's website currently. Once we open, I don't know when we're going to open, but I'm sure you can buy it from the winery once you're here. But more importantly, right now, it's available online retail.
Website or give us a call.
Yeah.
But with that code,
because we can do pickup as well.
Yeah, and they're doing delivery within a certain radius of the winery as well. But if you use that code VT6 ship, you'll get 10% off. And if you get 3 bottles, it's free shipping.
Woo! Yes.
Woo! There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you once again for joining our weekly Facebook Live. I hope you had as much fun as we clearly did. And maybe next week, I'll be even taller. That would be highly amusing. Or maybe I'll be shorter. I don't know.
It'll be
tuned.
good for historical records here to watch
Stay tuned.
Stephanie
Find
get
out.
taught.
And I think we're gonna end it right here with a cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone. Hope
Thanks,
to see you soon.
everybody. Stay safe.